Hey guys, how's it going? Uh, Merry Christmas. My voice is wrecked, probably from all the caroling I've been doing. A couple of days ago, it was my birthday, and I was actually given some Monmouth Coffee Beans, which are awesome. Really, really, really love them. Really nice. Uh, Gonna do a bit of a coffee making montage and coffee tasting in a moment. Uh, it's really nice coffee. It's quite chocolatey. It smells a bit uh, like chocolate hazelnut, I guess. But we'll cover that in a bit. But yeah, it's really nice. So Monmouth Coffee is basically a coffee. It's a coffee shop that's based in Covent Garden in London, and I think there's an interesting story behind it. I think so when Covent Garden was due to be bulldozed, I think a load of hippies basically just moved in and bought up the area, and it's a bit similar to how the hipsters of Shoreditch kind of came about. Where like the land just became really cheap, and people just went in and bought it and redeveloped the area, and so the coffee company, the coffee shop rather, has just been there since then. And now they make quite expensive coffee, but very, very tasty coffee. So the coffee that I have is from El Salvador. It is a medium roast. It tastes very nice though. So yeah, why don't we go and see the coffee making process and then come back for a taste test. Ooh. Smells kind of chocolatey. Maybe slightly almondy as well. It could just be the smell of the bag. The bag doesn't smell of anything. It's an approximation of what's needed for an espresso. So let's go grind it. Oh, look at that. The perfect amount. So here we are with the finished product in a wonderful mug. It's true, you know, like I may be wrong, but it is highly unlikely because I'm a flag of a dragon. But in all seriousness, the coffee, how does it taste? It's very nice. So it has quite I'd say a full body, a bit like a wine, well-rounded. It definitely tastes better when it's cooler. So don't drink, I would argue that actually drinking a very hot coffee is not a good idea. No matter what coffee it is, even if you have like basic instant, like a Nescafe, don't drink it too hot. If you drink it too hot, it just effectively just burns your mouth. Even if it doesn't feel burnt, you're still getting like kind of just the hot sensation. You don't want to drink it too cold either, unless it's a nice coffee, because they just, you know, taste rough. You want it to be kind of hot, but like on the hotter end of warm, if that makes any sense at all. Basically, you don't want to be able to burn yourself. If you spilt it, if I spilt this coffee now on my legs, you know, yeah, it would be hot, but it wouldn't be scalding. You know, whereas if it was straight off the boil, it would probably hurt me. You know, and actually, I can probably drink a whole mouthful of this now, for instance, you know. Yeah, and that didn't burn, you know. You want to be able to drink it quickly without it hurting you, but you don't want it to be so cold that it is, you know, developed a skin, basically. But yeah, I'm okay, you know. I just drank an entire gulp of coffee. Really it's not very good for the etiquette. You know, it doesn't fit in with the aesthetic, the overall aesthetic of coffee tasting and all that kind of stuff. Let me just do the slurp test thing. Yeah. See, I just think it's a lovely coffee. I think it's about £8.50 for a bag of 250 grams of beans, which is quite expensive. But I don't know. I just think it's worth it. I think that when I first tasted it this is not my first time tasting this coffee. In fact, I filmed this earlier on a couple of days ago, and it just didn't go very well. The footage was not good, and it probably isn't that good now. But this is the last time I'm going to do it. To be honest with you, I can't be faffed to keep doing this. I mean, I'm filming this on a smartphone, for crying out loud. I don't have proper filming equipment. I'm using the smartphone microphone. My voice is shot. You know, we're not local. You know, you probably haven't come here. If you're watching this video, it's probably not because you were drawn into the quality of it. I mean, I'm hoping I'm not just going to turn into a meme, but you know, if that's what I become, then fair enough. But yeah, I mean, the quality of this video is not really that good. But it was never going to be fair. So going back to the coffee. So yeah, I think one day maybe I'll be smart enough, not smart enough in terms of intelligence, but smart enough in terms of appearance, I suppose, to do a James Hoffman thing where I have some chrome look, screensaver's gone, some chrome look kind of spoons, you know, scoop in and ooh, that tastes bitter, ooh, it tastes a bit acidy. I make fun of that, but I love it, man. I love watching his videos. And I wish I was like that. I wish I could be like that, but you know, everybody has a role to play in life, and mine is not that, unfortunately. Anyway, yeah, I think this is a really nice coffee. I think so the first time I tasted it, I think it had, I kind of felt a bit hit in the face by the acidity, which gave it like kind of a naturally sweet flavour, I suppose. Bearing in mind, again, I just have to keep reminding putting out there that I pretty much only ever drink my coffees black. I very rarely drink it with milk. The only time I drink it with milk is if I'm getting a takeaway, or if I'm at somebody else's house and I have it as it comes. So I'll just be, if somebody says, "Do you want a tea or coffee?" As I've said in a previous video, I used to be, is it instant? And if they say if it was, I'd be like, yeah, I'll have a tea. So I've moved away from that, and I just go, yeah, just coffee with milk. Sometimes I if it's somebody I know, and I know what kind of instant coffee they have, then I might have it black. But yeah, generally speaking, it's an Americano that I'll have. So that's what I'm drinking here, and that's what I drank the other day. And I think, as far as I'm aware, it's the same. I feel like my coffee is dialed in to the way that I like it. I mean, the machine, you'll see in the video, the machine is a Gaggia, so it's not a bad make. But I mean, I think in terms of what it can do, it's pretty limited. It is their bottom end. And I think we got it as a wedding gift, and it was something we got when we were, I suppose when I was, I didn't know anything really about coffee, or anywhere near as much as I do now, and even now I don't know that much. But to me, it was a good brand, a good branded machine. But I didn't know that there were differences, really. So in terms of like the portafilter, it's basically just like a plastic unit with a spring inside. It's weird, and you can't really do anything to change it to modify it. But it still makes a half decent coffee. So yeah, in terms of dialing in an espresso, there's not much to do. It's kind of already dialed in for you. There are some things that I've done to improve it. So I changed the grind setting. The grinder, I didn't show that in the video, the setting, but the setting was at just because of the way the grinder is actually set like fairly coarse, which you wouldn't ordinarily have in an espresso. But if I put it too fine, it clogs up the portafilter, and it doesn't work properly. And I think that's just the quality of the grinder. Ceramic burrs, which I thought were actually meant to be quite good, and maybe they are, and it could just be the quality of the grinder itself. And then it's just I did use filtered water in both the coffee machine reservoir and in the kettle. So and generally speaking, that's what I do. Although all things considered, the quality of the water in Leicestershire isn't really that bad. I mean, it is hard, so you will get limescale build up over time, but it's nowhere near as bad as it is in London. It's nowhere near that bad at all. You actually do get a lather when you use soap and stuff, so it's softer than some places. And generally speaking, we don't filter our water all that often. The only reason I've done it is because it does give the coffee a little bit of an extra level of sweetness, I suppose. So yeah, I mean, so that's kind of it. What it is, it's filtered water, boiled. About 3/4 of the cup is hot water, and then I pour in the double espresso into the top of it, as I've been made aware is the correct way to make an Americano. You pour the coffee into the hot water rather than the water into the coffee, and that way you don't scald the coffee, and the coffee doesn't sort of end up being boiling hot. If you've ever ordered an Americano, even a reputable coffee shop, especially a takeaway, if you've ever experienced it being like face meltingly hot, it's because they've put hot water in after. So they've put the espresso in the bottom, and then they've topped up with hot water. So you basically just get like scalding hot water straight out of a boiler or out of a hot water dispenser, burning the coffee away, and just steaming hot. So it looks good, from a kind of a sales point of view. Here's a nice hot coffee, but then it just burns your face off. You can't drink it. which is another reason why I sometimes just get maybe a flat white if I'm getting a takeaway, just because I don't want to be burnt. So yeah, anyway, so this coffee, I think it pairs itself really nice. It is really nice for Americano. It's really nice for double espresso, or espresso, whatever you want to drink. I haven't used it in any other way yet. I haven't I haven't done a stovetop or a mocha pot. I have used it in a cafetiere. I'm not sure what I think about that yet. Yeah, I don't think I've got that quite dialed in, because again, you go for a coarser grind really for that. And yeah, I mean, it is palatable, but I don't think it's the nicest coffee that I've ever had in a cafetiere. So, and to be fair, not all coffees are for all mediums, which is why if you buy Lavazza, the Rosa, whatever it's called, on the bottom it'll say what it's for. There'll be like some little logos, little icons, and I'm pretty sure it's actually like stovetop and cafetiere, what it's been grown for or roasted for, which is why when I make espresso out of it, I find it less enjoyable, and it's just because I'm using it for the wrong purpose, I guess. So yeah, anyway, but yeah, I think if you have a spare £8.50 and you want to buy 250 grams of Monmouth coffee, again, Monmouth, not the place, but the shop in Covent Garden, you can order it online, and yeah, enjoy it.